It's a very good evening and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zondi. Happy Africa Day. I know it's a week old now, but how cool was Michael Jackson's performance at the Billboard Awards? Amazing what technology can do. Minister Naledi Pandor is back as the Science and Technology Minister in South Africa. President Zuma has also just announced a new Ministry of Telecommunications and Postal Services. Today we're also in Malawi, update you on Ethiopia's bloggers, and have loads from here in South Africa too. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. We are on News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Let's start with your social media and technology news. Mobile money and digital payments are making lives of Africans in the rural areas a bit easier. Mobile Money and Digital Payment Conference focused on growth of these platforms. The meeting was in Johannesburg in the last week.
Initiatives such as M-Pesa received praises at the conference. M-Pesa is a mobile phone-based money transfer and microfinancing service. Currently, the most developed mobile payment system in the world. M-Pesa allows users with national ID card or passport to deposit, withdraw, or transfer money easily with their mobile device. Companies such as Musoni Services are providing infrastructure to MFIs to facilitate services like M-Pesa. CEO of Musoni Services, Cameron Goldie-Scott, says his company has helped M-Pesa to process over 1 million transactions.
We provide a best practice cloud-based MIS to MFIs across East Africa. And the unique difference about the Musoni system is that we integrate with mobile money transfer services like M-Pesa in Kenya or Airtel Money. We do tend to focus on countries where there is an existing mobile money transfer service that we can integrate with and provide value-add services to the microfinance organizations.
To accommodate low-income earners and people without bank accounts, Musoni uses USSD services. These free services can be accessed without internet and is often free on any mobile phone. But with every innovation comes a challenge. The skepticism of businesses to use technology has hampered process in most instances.
South African police say the 9 Nigerians and a South African arrested in Pretoria for cyber fraud will be extradited to the United States of America. The Hawks say 11 other people linked to the crime were arrested in Canada and America. The arrested group is suspected of buying goods in the US using stolen personal identity documents. Fake credit cards would be used to purchase the merchandise. They would then bring them to South Africa using American shipping companies Federal Express, DHL, and United Parcel Service, or USP. Once in South Africa, the goods would then be allegedly sold to unsuspecting people over the internet. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, says a West African transnational organized crime syndicate has been involved in several financial fraud schemes over the internet. Imagine what South African telecoms will be like if Vodacom gets a nod from the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, or ICASA. ICASA has warned that Vodacom should not get too excited on its acquisition of Neotel until the 7 billion rand transaction has been presented to them. You might remember that earlier this week, Vodacom announced its 100% acquisition of Neotel.
Not only does Vodacom need an approval from competition authorities, it still has to take one of the big bulls in a crawl, Cell C. Cell C has filed a complaint in October last year opposing the Vodacom Neotel deal, saying it will give the company an unfair advantage in building a national 4G LTE network and affect the mobile operators' competition. Reports have surfaced that the move by Vodacom may be seen as a counter to Cell C's offering of 66 a minute headline tariff. When approved, the 7 billion rands deal would give Vodacom access to Neotel's 15,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, including 8,000 kilometers of metropolitan fiber. However, is Vodacom's acquisition of Neotel a good thing for consumers? Speaking to the SABC Morning Live, IT journalist Jan Vermeulen gives his analysis.
Telkom's infrastructure, and people sometimes forget this, Telkom's infrastructure in South Africa is vast. They have over 140,000 kilometers of fiber in the ground. I think in the short term, it'll probably mean better coverage, especially on the long-term evolution side. And what's the knock-on effect of that, if they get to keep their spectrum, I mean, it's a big if, the knock-on effect of that is that the voice coverage will improve.
Commenting on the Neotel acquisition, Vodacom CEO says the deal would ensure the company's growth and a credible alternative to Telkom.
I think the big one obviously is Neotel, and I think extremely important for us because enterprise growth we see as a clear opportunity to grow the business, especially because of the low fixed penetration in South Africa, and if I dare say the level of underinvestment in fixed infrastructure, which also puts an overdependence on mobile.
Telkom's full acquisition of business connection for 2.7 billion rands and a mobile network sharing deal between MTN and Telkom are currently on the cards in Mzansi's ICT sector.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange used audio streaming to speak to Cape Town conference delegates in the last week. The conference was organized by an organization called Net Profit. He's been stuck in the Ecuadorian embassy in London as he is facing extradition to Sweden. He is accused of a sex crime in Sweden. During the talk, Assange spoke about evidence he says WikiLeaks suggests that there is spying conducted by South Africa. He also mentioned that he believes South Africa has produced devices that were used by governments of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya and Hosni Mubarak in Egypt to spy on those countries' citizens. Electronic vote counting has been a problem in Malawi. Reports from the Southern African country say that hackers broke into Malawi Election Commission's computers. This resulted in ballot tallies exceeding the number of registered voters in some constituencies, leading to President Sibanda first calling for manual counting, then nullifying the election. The country's High Court then issued an injunction stopping Banda from what they say is interfering with the electoral process. Let's listen to Tom Banda from Malawi civil society, who isn't happy with how these elections are handled in his country.
At this moment, the Election Commission has been trying to tally the numbers. They say their systems are failing, the technical systems, the computers, but the leadership is out there instigating disruption of the process. This should not be allowed to happen in this country. We've come too far for that. We're such a poor country that we cannot have that situation.
Today, May 25, marks exactly a month since 6 bloggers and 3 journalists were arrested in Ethiopia. They've become known as the Zone 9 bloggers. They are accused of working with foreign organizations, rights activists, and using social media to destabilize the country. They have since had 2 court appearances and are thought to have been exposed to torture. Public pressure is mounting for the bloggers and journalists to be released.
Private media in Ethiopia is leading the campaign for the 6 bloggers and 3 journalists to be released. The detained are accused by the state for working with foreign organizations to discredit the Ethiopian government and to incite violence. The online channel EthioTube has been broadcasting global protests calling for the release of the bloggers. Such one demonstration took place in the United States. The popular Peace Mind channel on YouTube has also begun an online campaign urging youth to raise their voice in protest. Since the arrest of the bloggers, the Twitter hashtag #FreeZone9bloggers has been trending in Ethiopia. The 9 arrested remain behind bars.
Here on Network, we've played a video of a group of Joburgers dancing to Pharrell Williams' Happy. There are many videos like it from all over the globe. Dancing to the song and uploading the video on YouTube has landed a group of Iranians in jail. Authorities say the arrests are because of what they are calling un-Islamic behavior.
See anything abnormal or threatening in this music video? In a country like Iran, which follows a very strict form of Islam and internet censorship, there's everything wrong with this video. According to the country's authorities, this YouTube clip is both vulgar and hurts public chastity.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room
The video appeared during the Persian New Year at the end of March, and it was an instant hit on Iranian social media sites. But the fact that the women are not wearing headscarves and everyone is spreading happiness are what analysts argue had led to their arrests. State television has shown them confessing to have been tricked into making the video.
They promised us it wouldn't be broadcast.
They said they had a permit, but they fooled me.
According to some unconfirmed reports, a total of 13 people have been arrested for this. The country's newly elected and more moderate president Hassan Rouhani is believed to be supporting the artists. In a statement posted on an unofficial Twitter account, he's quoted as saying,
#happiness is our people's right. We shouldn't be too hard on behaviors caused by joy.
On the day of the arrests on Tuesday, the video had been watched more than 40,000 times. Following the arrest, the video has now been viewed close to 1 million times. The artists, excluding the director, are out on bail.
In the last week, the United States of America charged 5 Chinese military officers with hacking into U.S. companies to steal trade secrets. China denied the charges, saying they're made up. Now, there are reports that USA could impose visa restrictions to prevent Chinese nationals from attending a popular summer hacking conference in Las Vegas. At this stage, it seems to be a bitter war of words between the world's richest countries. The August DEFCON and Black Hat conference is popular with hackers, but there are reports that America could impose visa restrictions on some Chinese nationals planning to attend it. Conference organizers say they know nothing about these reports. This follows a week of cyber espionage accusations from the US. These are the military officers America says hacked into US companies to steal trade secrets. Organizers of another event say 10 to 12 Chinese citizens have unexpectedly been denied visas to attend a space and cyber conference hosted by the Space Foundation in Colorado, USA.
This administration will not tolerate actions by any nation that seeks to illegally sabotage American companies and undermine the integrity of fair competition in the operation of the free market. This case should serve as a wake-up call to the seriousness of the ongoing cyber threat.
China has denied all charges against the military officers, and in turn, Beijing summoned the U.S. ambassador over the incident.
The United States deliberately made up facts, using the excuse of so-called stealing of secrets online to indict 5 Chinese military officials. This has seriously violated the basic principles of international relations and damaged Chinese-US cooperation and mutual trust.
Skeptics say the US will never be able to arrest the men because Beijing will not hand them over. So maybe that's why they could be looking at other methods of dealing with China. After the break, we'll talk about Innovation Hub's latest competition. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter, News Network at sabc.co.za on email.
Your World provides trusted world, continent and local stories. We deliver breaking news from across the globe and information on the latest top stories on business, technology, politics and sport. Analysis of the big global business and economic issues as they affect consumers and investors. Make sure you don't miss Your World, weekdays between 11 and 12 midnight. We keep the nation fully informed.
Zoom into Africa. This is Ethiopia. The Prime Minister is Mr. Haile Mariam Desalegn. Ethiopia is Africa's oldest independent country. It was never colonized. The population is more than 80 million people. One of the major languages spoken is English. Monetary unit, birr.
That's great African invention on Africa Day. Now the Innovation Hub is running the Gauteng Accelerator Program again. This next insert gives us a glimpse of what it's all about.
The Innovation Hub is a science and technology park based in the city of Tshwane. In effort to encouraging young South Africans to be world-class innovators, the park runs various innovation competitions that will help enhance Gauteng province's economy. Established by the Gauteng Economic Development Department, the Science and Technology Park focuses on fostering skill development and entrepreneurship. The initiative also aims to incubate new companies so they generate jobs. The competition has seen a number of success stories all throughout the province.
Currently, we've got 3 apps that we've developed: the Q Marshall app, a commuter app, and a taxi association app. In a logistics service, the Q Marshall would be like your dispatcher. You know, they would know what the demand is along a route.
The Innovation Hub gives young innovators a chance to explore and invent technologies that might help advance societies. Here to tell us more about the Gauteng Accelerator Program is CEO McLean Sibanda. Welcome back and thank you for being a part of our network.
Thank you very much.
Now, what's GAP all about?
Well, GAP is a series of competitions that we run. So it's a Gauteng Accelerator Program. We run these competitions in four areas. One in ICT, second one in green economy, the third one is in biosciences, and the fourth one is in medical. And in essence, what we're looking for is we're trying to find those innovators out there that have got bright ideas that will contribute to service delivery, contribute to competitiveness of the Gauteng economy, as well as contribute towards addressing the social challenges that we face out there in society.
You're mentioning a few categories there. Why did you pick those specifically?
Those particular categories are in line with our own priority sectors, but also the priority sectors in terms of the Gauteng economy. When one looks at bioeconomy in particular, it's a high growth sector. The ICT has been a boom, not only in South Africa, but in the rest of the continent, whereas green economy is quite important in terms of sustainable development and also addressing issues of energy security, water security, as well as waste management.
Now, maybe if you can tell us briefly about some of your past winners in order for those who want to enter can know what exactly you're looking for.
So the winners vary depending on the category. So if you look at the biosciences, generally these tend to be research intensive kind of projects. So the winner last year was a project from University of Pretoria, where they've developed a diagnostics for TB, and we're now helping them to be able to get that through to the market. In the green economy, we've had people developing kinetic energy chargers, as well as Lighty, which was a solar energy device for use in rural communities. When one looks at ICT, these tend to be generally mobile type of innovations. And then we use MLab, which is one of our incubators, to be able to support them. Whereas in green economy, we use the Climate Innovation Center. But I think the last category that we've added in the last year is the medical one. And this is also in line with the number of hospitals that you see in Gauteng. And therefore, we're looking for those innovations that the people at the coalface in the hospitals actually see on a daily basis.
There's one you mentioned, which is, you said it's the ICT one.
Yes.
And you said it's generally mobile. Are you only looking for mobile, though?
No, we're not looking only for mobile. What we're looking for are those innovations that actually address a particular challenge. So there has to be a problem in society, and the innovation has got to be talking to that particular challenge. And broadly and ideally, what we'll be looking for are innovations that also create jobs, and also provide more opportunity and competitiveness for the Gauteng economy. And I think quite important as well is the issues of service delivery. And so we look for e-government solutions, we look at e-health solutions as well, anything that can be able to put Gauteng on the map.
What are they getting? What's the closing date?
Well, we've got about 3 million rand of prize money. Closing date is the 1st of June. And in addition to the prize money, there's also incubation support. And so if you look at the medical winners last year, 2 of them are going to compete in a global competition in Geneva in August.
All right. McLean Sibanda, CEO of the Innovation Hub. Thank you very much for being a part of our network.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, Samsung has unveiled its flagship Curved UHD television in Rosebank on Wednesday. Producer Lebosi Jage has received first-hand experience with the high-tech TV.
We have seen the television set evolve from a hunchback to flat to plasma, and the list goes on. And now we are introduced to a whole new TV experience with Samsung's Curved UHD TV.
Flames and pins flying mid-air. Services by people in ancient Rome garb. Seems like Samsung went to lengths to impress those attending the launch of their flagship Curved UHD television. An invention that will, according to the company, improve consumers' viewing experience.
Not all curved TVs are the same. Samsung's Curved UHD TV is the only screen, the only curved TV that is curved in 4 sides. So that means that prevents possible light leakage.
We at Network recently reviewed LG's G-Flex curved handset. The shape, according to the phone manufacturer, provides for a more comfortable grip and fit. One can't help but wonder, what shape or form will the next invention take?
We don't know what the future brings. Once again, we prefer to listen to what the consumer demands. At this stage, the curved form factor is really the latest and greatest.
Samsung announced that the Curved TV is available in retail stores with a recommended price of about 70,000 rands.
SABC, sharing 20 years of inspiration.
Welcome back. Digital media played a major role in updating the public on recent South African elections. The SABC's digital news has also been working hard at this. Joining us in the studio is digital news producer Matiba Mutewana. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, you almost got it right.
I almost got it right.
Almost.
All right. Now, how did you go about your news gathering process at Digital News?
Oh, it's been a very busy weekend. And from Digital News side, we've been there since very, very early in the morning on Saturday, and we captured using video recorders, using cameras, using tablets, and it's been quite a great experience. And we used different kind of equipments to cover the event and try to capture the color behind the inauguration.
All right. So when you get to the inauguration, what do you do exactly?
Firstly, we were there before the sun came out at around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. There were already people arriving. And, you know, with digital news, you need to cover things right at the specific time and not waste time, and use whatever you have at hand. And so we get there, took pictures, took multimedia videos, and as well as interviewed people on the bus to the union buildings.
And we do know that it's not the only process of the elections you were covering. You were covering the elections themselves.
Yes, we covered the elections, and during the election, this took right before the elections, we started covering everything, and we had a special report on the election. And one of the things we used was the GoPro camera, which we covered everything around the IEC centers, what was going on. And the GoPro camera it's something this small that you can actually fit in
the
your
GoPro
pocket.
camera was on screen
Very
just
small,
now. Yeah.
Yes, and we captured this video where we had a walkabout around the IE center, just showing people when you go in, this is what you expect to find. This is where the phone sits. This is where the wall is, and this is where IEC people sit. Journalists sit here, and the technology behind that and what they use, which was a pretty cool experience. And you'd be surprised at how well the little camera takes footage, from video and sound as well, even without using a microphone with it.
So the footage from the GoPro camera is on screen at the moment.
Yes.
So when you gather this footage, where does it end up exactly?
Mostly on the SABC website, the SABC News website, that's sabc.co.za/news.
Yeah.
And you can get that also on the YouTube website. SABC has a YouTube website where just about everything, including the inauguration, where we covered that live, and it was streaming. So if you couldn't watch it on TV, you could go and catch it on the YouTube channel. And we also stream it live onto the SABC News website. So all those things, when people were arriving, you could go onto YouTube from your cell phone, from your tablet, from wherever you are.
You mentioned that YouTube page. How does it differ, the content that you find there? How does it differ from the content that you see on television?
On television, they usually cover the main event where you see the president speaking. On the digital website, what we covered was people who are there to attend. What are they doing? What are they going on about? One of the stories we did was the advice to President Zuma, where we went around, spoke to people. What advice do you have for President Jacob Zuma?
All right.
What people were wearing, if they were enjoying it, why they were there, and you'd be surprised the reasons behind people's attendance.
Matiba Mutewana, I'm sure we're going to find the cabinet on your website as well. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. That's digital news producer Matiba Mutewana joining us right here on Network. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's check what people have been sharing in social media now. It's been a celebration of Africa for many in social media. Some have been chatting about African food, fashion and music. This is because today is Africa Day, and others have been happy about how far Africa has come over the years. Zimbabweans were celebrating with the Harare Carnival yesterday. Many took to Facebook to upload photographs of the festivities in the country's capital. And South Africa was inaugurating President Jacob Zuma for his second term in office yesterday. The country had visitors from all over the continent. Loads of those attending the event were sharing images of the people they were seeing at the Union buildings in the country's capital, Pretoria. And that's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. We're on News Network at sabc.co.za and email. As we celebrate Africa Day, we leave you with a video showcasing African cities. Former South African President Thabo Mbeki is speaking. From me and the rest of the team, have a good one.
I am an African. I owe my being to the hills and the valleys, the mountains and the glades, the rivers, the deserts, the trees, the flowers, the seas, and the ever-changing seasons that define the face of our native land. My body has frozen in our frosts and in our latter-day snows. It has thawed in the warmth of our sunshine and melted in the heat of the midday sun. The crack and the rumble of the summer thunders, lashed by startling lightning, have been a cause both of trembling and of hope. The fragrances of nature have been as pleasant to us as the sight of the wild blooms of the citizens of the veldt. The dramatic shapes of the Drakensberg, the soil-colored waters of the Likwa, Iqeli, Notugel, and the sands of the Kalahari have all been panels of the set on the natural stage on which we act out the foolish deeds